Magic is only magic when we don't know what it is. When we do know what it is, we call it science. Science is really just us trying to understand the magic of nature and the essence of the things around us. And in the beautiful words of Nikola Tesla, there is no subject more captivating, more worthy of study than nature. With the ultimate question being, how far can we understand the world around us? Understanding things begins with asking questions. It's fundamental. And science is just curiosity in constant motion, just questioning, observing, and investigating mysteries around us until we can classify it, explain it, and call it science. So there is an inherent magic in the mysteries, in the unknown, and then science in the process of learning and understanding it. And since we don't know everything about everything, where there's science, there's magic. Now, science is a pretty broad term for a lot of things. There's different genres of science. So there are your formal sciences, which is math, geometry. You've got your social sciences, which is sociology, archaeology, how cultures interact. And then you've got your natural sciences, which is where we study natural phenomena. So that's where biology, physics, chemistry, that's where they live. All of these are important and relevant to all of us. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be referring to the natural sciences, specifically chemistry. My name is Bree, and welcome to me talking about the beautiful chemistry that is all around us. Because it literally is all around us. Like, just look around you. It's in everything. As in all the things. All the things. The walls, the floor, the ceiling, the TV, the devices. All of that is made of super tiny little energy bubbles we call atoms. They named an atom because they thought you couldn't divide it anymore. The ancient Greeks. Turns out you can divide it. So it's not the smallest thing, but it's the smallest thing that we can characterize with an identity. So all of the atoms on the periodic table are different from each other. They have distinct identities and characteristics that then influence how they behave in the world. But yeah, there's different types of atoms, and they made a whole table for it. Or did the table make itself? But yeah, they're all different kinds of atoms. They have different characteristics, different identities, different souls, different auras. This is a rock I got this from Oregon, from a beach in Oregon. This is called basalt. This rock is multiple millions of years old. And this used to be inside the earth. Now it's on my hand. And it's also made of stuff on the periodic table. I just got so excited. This has got, silicon, iron, aluminum, magnesium, oxygen. Regardless, a lot of the stuff on the periodic table is in this tiny little rock. Imagine all the other stuff. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so what's chemistry? Chemistry is the study of energy transforming in the physical world. Now, there are multiple kinds of energy, okay? Everything is energy, but there's electrical energy, you have thermal energy, you have mechanical energy. And the physical manifestation of energy is called matter, or matter energy, because they do not exist separate. Matter is energy too. I see it as matter energy, electrical energy, matter energy, Because yeah, it's not just matter and then matter has energy. They're intertwined, don't exist by themselves. Energy exists by itself. Energy is just energy. Matter is a form of energy, the physical form of energy. In this realm of density, as Shaman Durek would say. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed into another kind of energy, okay? So when you feel heat from fire, that is something turning into thermal energy, okay? It was a different kind of energy, probably matter energy. And it's turning into something else. Also, it is crucial to note that chemistry is not existing alone. Physics is holding hands with it the whole time. They're holding hands the whole time, okay? They don't let go hands unless you're in a physics class or a chemistry class, okay? They exist together. It is more just what angle are you looking at the application from. So the idea of a conductor. Not the train kind. conducting heat. That's funny. That's a topic you learn in physics, but the reasoning behind why copper is a better conductor than, let's say, glass, that's going to be a chemistry conversation. Also a physics conversation. Okay, see how they both go together? Physics is the how, it's the mechanisms, it's the underlying laws of what things are doing, and then chemistry has to do with how those laws and mechanisms apply to specific materials, different identities. Why is this behaving differently than this? Oh, it's because it's made of something differently than this. Like light. We learn about light in physics. You learn about... What else do you learn about? Just light. Yeah, light is going to be, like, that's a whole class. But then it's like, we see colors because of how light interacts with things. You know what I mean? So colors are based on the identity of the thing that something is made of. Pretty cool. I know. The combination of both of them is called physical chemistry, which is really the entire framework. And once you start taking upper level chemistry classes, it's physical chemistry. You're like, oh, physics has been part of this the whole time? Yeah. And so when I say chemistry is everything, I'm also including physics in my head, okay? But I don't have a physics degree, okay? So that can't be my main guy. I just don't know as much about it. I love it. I love physics. But I don't feel qualified to talk about that. But yeah, I don't see them as separate entities, if I'm honest with you. Like when I'm looking at something, both physics and chemistry apply to that, probably. Not probably, definitely. I don't really think either of them can exist without each other because, yeah, the chemistry is playing out with the laws of physics, but at the same time, if there was no stuff to study, what would we be studying? What mechanisms would there be studying if there were no atoms? Tell me. But what's the stuff? Like, what is the stuff? Like, the individual pieces of stuff. I think stuff is honestly a better word than matter. What's the matter? What's the temperature? You'll get that joke later. I'm going to go more into details with atoms a different time, but just know that there's a core, and then there's kind of an energy bubble around the core. The two zones. So we have the nucleus, or the core. I call it the soul, if you will. And outside that core, there's an energy space. I call it the aura, because it isn't exactly that, kind of. So the orbital is the space where electrons exist and dance and move around, and we give it kind of an average space because you can't really locate an electron until you look at it. It's a whole thing, but we don't need to talk about that now. But just know that that's why they are as bubbles, because they exist as a space where energy can be. The core, or the nucleus, is where the identity of the atom is going to be characterized. So the number on the periodic table corresponds to the number of protons in the nucleus, the core, the soul. So oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, they all have different numbers of protons. You add a proton, you remove a proton, it's a different element, okay? The other kind of particle in the nucleus is called a neutron. Neutrons are there for physical stability of the atom. Now, electrons versus protons and neutrons, the size is not even comparable. Protons and neutrons, huge. Electrons, tiny. But electrons, that's where they carry the electric energy. And that is what chemical reactions are studying. So the aura is where energy lives. You know what I mean? So like nucleuses don't exist with just a nucleus, no aura. So there is no matter without energy. You know what I'm saying? One more thing to note. Atoms don't exist as their lonesome atom, okay? So it's more of a framework for understanding the identity of them, but atoms typically at least will be with another atom, okay? So like oxygen does not exist as one oxygen atom. It exists as two atoms, and when you put two atoms together, you get a molecule. So technically it's a diatomic molecule, but because two atoms, but molecule really is what we care about, okay? So when you hear molecules, just know it's a compilation of atoms, different atoms. I can't even begin to comprehend how many molecules there probably are in the, not even the number, but like different kinds. But all I know is they're everywhere, and all the stuff is made of molecules. So yeah, molecules, atoms are kind of interchangeable words, somewhat. I may switch them up exists. But one of my favorite things is that it just exists like that. Like, it just is that. Like, this is just atoms. And so is this, but different types of atoms. Why? Because they got different protons and neutrons going on, like numbers of them. And then their souls are different. Their auras are different. They interact with the world around them differently. And apply that to everything we see, literally. Like, I'm not even kidding. That's why I'm so hype about it. But yeah, we didn't create these things. Some of them they manufactured, some of them are artificial. But like, these things just exist like that. They just are the pieces, and we discovered it. You know what I mean? And our idea of it might not even be complete yet because we don't necessarily have the means to measure something that we don't even know about yet, if that makes sense. Well, I mean, also, who's to say? Who's to say? Now, granted, we all look through a subjective lens, but that's kind of what science is for. It's a collaborative platform. It's a collaborative space where people talk about their observations and like bounce them off each other, kind of come to a common ground, ideally, okay? I'm not saying science has been perfect, because I don't think it has been. But if used correctly, it's just a way of us understanding and connecting to the world around us. And so that's why I think it's beautiful, because I love connecting to the world around us. Science is always evolving. Our minds are always evolving, because the thing is, not everyone has been part of the conversation the whole time they've been talking about things. So like, what an atom looks like now is not what they thought it looked like before. They used to think you couldn't cut it. Turns out you can. Then they thought it was the one that's like the main mascot for all atoms, which I'm here to tell you, it doesn't look like that. Then they used to think that it like operated like the solar system. It's not a complete picture, and I don't think it ever will be, because it's based on our interpretation of things. And I say our as humanity, okay? So like, it's always going to be evolving as we evolve. But yeah, there's just so many things coexisting around us seamlessly. And I think that's beautiful, and I think that that is totally something worth sharing. And so here I am. Personally, the more I understand about chemistry, the more magical it becomes, because I'm just in shock that that's happening. Like, why? Why? I don't know. So when I say, is it magic or science, that's why I say both. Because there's a lot that I do not know. And neither do you, and neither do your parents. Shout out John Mulaney. In my opinion, it makes the ordinary extraordinary. Like, it just completely changed I multiple times completely changed my worldview, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. More people gotta know. The forces of nature really just, they dance so beautifully together. Like, shout out the forces of nature for keeping us alive. Shout out. At the end of the day, I'm just here to share really cool things that I've learned, because I don't think I know that people would want to know about it. So yeah, this was just kind of a short intro of chemistry, science, magic, physics. I mean, I kind of just briefly touched on things. There's far more details. Next time I'll talk about atoms or the periodic table or light, or there's literally endless things for me to talk about. Like, why does soap work? What is fire? Do you know there's different colors of fire? Crazy. Yeah, that's a metal situation. Or it doesn't have to be. But above all, just remember to be grateful for the little things. Just take an extra second to observe them and take it in, question them. What are they doing? What are they different? So yeah, I hope you learned something today. I appreciate you watching, and don't forget about the unseen magic and everything. Bye. I'll talk about metals another time, because they're really cool. Some of them can get pretty hot though.